Do you know what the most dangerous addiction of our time is? It's not alcohol. It's not drugs. It's not gambling. It's distraction. The silent epidemic that steals more dreams, more wealth, and more lives than anything else today. Think about it. You wake up in the morning, and before you even say good morning to the person sleeping next to you, you're already saying good morning to your phone. One notification, then another, and before you know it, half an hour of your life is gone, and you don't even remember what you scrolled. That's how dangerous distraction is. Because unlike failure, unlike pain, unlike rejection, distraction doesn't feel dangerous. It feels harmless. It feels enjoyable. That's why it's a silent killer. Look around the world today. We have more opportunities than any generation before us. We have information at our fingertips. Global markets one click away. We can start a business from our bedroom. Yet most people are busier scrolling other people's lives than building their own. That's the epidemic. Let me give you an example. Do you know why Netflix is so powerful? It's not because of its movies. It's because of one button, next episode. That single button has stolen more sleep, more productivity, and more dreams than most people realize. Think of the last time you said, just one more episode. Suddenly, it's 3 a.m., and tomorrow is destroyed. That's how distraction works. It doesn't take your life in one big blow, it takes it in tiny little slices, day after day. Even the biggest companies in the world are fighting for your attention. That's the business model. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, they are not free. You are the product. They don't sell you the app, they sell your attention to advertisers. And every second you give away, they profit. You lose, they win. There's a reason why the richest people in the world today are not selling oil, not selling gold, not selling land. They're selling distraction. Your focus is the new currency. And if you can't control it, you're broke, no matter how much money you have in the bank. Let me make it relatable. Imagine two students. One spends 3 hours every night scrolling TikTok, watching prank videos, celebrity gossip, random content that will be forgotten tomorrow. The other spends that same 3 hours learning coding, or marketing, or public speaking. Fast forward 5 years. One of them is addicted to dopamine. The other is addicted to growth. One complains about life being unfair. The other builds a life others envy. The difference is not intelligence. It's not luck. It's focus. We like to think the future is shaped by big decisions. But the truth is, the future is stolen by small distractions. Not choosing the wrong career, but losing 30 minutes every day to nothingness. Not because we are stupid, but because we are comfortable. And comfort kills more potential than failure ever will. When you look at the world's most successful people, you'll notice something simple. They are not the smartest. They are not the strongest. But they are the ones who learn to protect their attention like their life depended on it. Because it does. Steve Jobs, when he was asked about his genius, said his real skill was not inventing, it was saying no. Saying no to distractions, no to opportunities that didn't matter, no to noise. That's how focus becomes power. But the average person, we say yes to everything. Yes to notifications. Yes to entertainment. Yes to scrolling. Yes to distraction. And every yes we give away is a no to our own future. Here's the truth nobody wants to admit. The reason most people are poor is not because they are unlucky, but because they are unfocused. They've given their best hours to other people's dreams, other people's content, other people's lives. They wake up one day and realize, I was busy every day, but I achieved nothing. That is the silent epidemic I'm talking about. And if you don't fight it, you will not just waste a day, you will waste your life. The most dangerous thing about distraction is that it never looks dangerous. If you fail, you feel pain. If you lose money, you panic. But if you waste 2 hours scrolling on your phone, you just say, I deserved a break. And tomorrow, you deserve another break. And then suddenly, you've been taking a break for 10 years. Let me tell you something funny. Scientists say every time you get a notification, your brain releases dopamine. Basically, your brain throws a party. A like on Instagram? Boom, dopamine. A funny cat video? Boom, dopamine. It's like your brain is addicted to junk food. Imagine if every time someone rang your doorbell, you got a free cookie. At first, it's amazing, but after a year, you can't fit through the door. That's what distraction is doing to your mind. Here's the scary part. Once this habit is strong, it doesn't just waste your time, It kills your ability to focus on anything meaningful. How many of you try to read one book, but 5 minutes later, you're on your phone Googling, what's the richest dog in the world? That's not weakness. That's rewiring. The world has rewired your brain to crave constant stimulation. Think of it like this. In the past, people fought lions, droughts, famines. Today, our big enemy is Netflix's next episode starts in 5 seconds. You laugh, but that little countdown has destroyed more dreams than poverty ever could. Now, let me give you a perspective. Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Imagine if Edison lived today. By attempt number 50, he'd be like, forget this, I'll just watch another season of Stranger Things. And then, no light bulb. We'd all be sitting here in darkness, staring at our phones, and the battery would already be dead. But here's the thing. The real price of distraction is invisible. 1 hour a day feels like nothing. But add it up. 365 hours a year. That's 15 full days. 15 days of your life gone. And what did you achieve? You became a level 60 expert in Candy Crush. Congratulations. Meanwhile, someone else used those 15 days to start a business, write a book, or master a skill. Look at J.K. Rowling. She wrote Harry Potter as a struggling single mother. Do you think she had the luxury to waste 3 hours a day arguing with strangers on Twitter? No. She focused. Meanwhile, millions of people had the same dream to write, but they were too busy watching reruns of Friends. And that's the difference. Focus builds empires. Distraction builds excuses. And the worst part, distraction doesn't just steal your time. It steals your future. While you're scrolling, someone else is working. 5 years later, you'll look at them and say, wow, they're so lucky. No, they weren't lucky. They were focused while you were distracted. That's why I call it the silent epidemic. It looks harmless. It even looks fun. But one day, when you're 40, 50, 60, you'll realize the villain wasn't your boss, wasn't the economy, wasn't your parents. The villain was that little rectangle glowing in your pocket. Let me tell you something most people don't realize. Distraction is expensive. Not just in time, not just in energy, but in money. Every notification you check, every hour you waste, is like handing someone else your wallet. Think about it. The companies designing these apps are not stupid. They hire the smartest psychologists and engineers in the world. Not to make you smarter, but to make you scroll longer. Why? Because the longer you're distracted, the more ads you see, the more money they make. So every ding, every swipe down to refresh is not free. It's a business model. And the product they're selling is you. Here's a funny way to see it. Imagine you had a friend who came to your house every day and said, hey, can I borrow your brain for 3 hours? Don't worry, I'll give you nothing in return. Would you say yes? No way. But when your phone does it, you don't even think twice. Now, let's go deeper. Do you know what 1 focused hour a day can create? 1 hour a day of learning a new skill, 365 hours in a year. That's the same as studying a subject full-time for 9 weeks. 9 weeks. That could mean learning coding, digital marketing, design, public speaking. Skills that can earn you thousands of dollars. But instead, most people use that same hour to argue with strangers online about whether pineapple belongs on pizza. By the way, it does. Here's the real tragedy. Distraction doesn't just keep you poor. It makes someone else rich. While you're watching endless videos, someone else is making those videos and getting paid. While you're scrolling through products you don't need, someone else is running the business and making money off your attention. The distracted become the customers. The focused become the owners. Look at Warren Buffett. He reads for 5 hours a day. Bill Gates once took a reading vacation just to think and focus. Elon Musk spent his nights coding when he could have been out partying. These people aren't superheroes. They just protected their attention like gold. And because they invested it wisely, they built empires. Now ask yourself, where is your attention going? If 90% of it is going into Netflix, TikTok, Instagram, then don't be surprised if your life looks like a Netflix show. Entertaining, maybe, but no happy ending. And here's a painful truth. Distraction kills dreams before they even start. How many of you had an idea for a business, a book, a project, and then thought, I'll start tomorrow? But tomorrow you were too busy checking notifications. And by next week, the idea was gone. Dreams don't die from failure. They die from distraction. So the next time you waste an hour, don't just think, oh, it's fine. Think of what that hour could have earned you. A new skill, a stronger body, a better relationship, a side business. That's the price tag of distraction. And if you keep paying it every day, one day you'll wake up broke, not just in money, but in opportunities. Remember this, you can recover lost money, you can recover lost jobs, but you will never recover lost attention. So now the big question, how do we fight this silent epidemic? It's easy to say, don't get distracted. But let's be honest, our phones are smarter than us. You pick it up to check one message, and 3 hours later, you're watching a documentary about why octopuses might be aliens. The answer isn't to throw your phone away and live in the mountains. The answer is to train your focus like a muscle. Because focus is exactly that, a muscle. If you don't use it, it gets weak. If you exercise it, it becomes powerful. The first step is simple. Small blocks of focus. Don't say, I'll study for 8 hours. You won't. Start with 25 minutes. No phone, no distractions, just you and the task. After 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break. This little method, called the Pomodoro technique, has saved more students and entrepreneurs than you can imagine. Why? Because it's doable. Small wins build big momentum. Second, remove temptation. If your phone is beside you, forget it. You've already lost. It's like putting a box of donuts on your desk while you're on a diet. You can say, I have willpower, but sooner or later, you'll eat the donut. So put your phone in another room, or use apps that block distractions. Make focus the default, not the struggle. Third, set one priority a day. Not 10, not 20, just one. Every morning, ask, if I only finish this one thing today, will I be proud? And then attack it. Do you know what kills productivity? Not distraction alone, but being busy with the wrong things. Many people spend all day replying to emails, scrolling, doing little tasks, and end the day exhausted but empty-handed. One priority a day can change everything. Now let me share something funny. People always say, I don't have time. But the same person who has no time somehow has 2 hours to argue on Facebook about which superhero is stronger. You don't lack time, you lack focus. That's the truth. And last, protect your mornings. The first hour after you wake up is golden. Don't waste it on news or social media. If the first thing you do is grab your phone, congratulations. You've just given your best energy to other people's lives instead of your own. Use that hour for learning, planning, exercising, or working on your dream. Because if you win your morning, you win your day. Remember, success is not built in one giant step. It's built in tiny focused steps, repeated every day. The difference between an ordinary life and an extraordinary life is simply where your attention goes. So train your focus like your future depends on it, because it does. One day, you will look back at your life, and in that moment, you will not remember the memes you laughed at, the arguments you had online, or the hours you spent scrolling. You will remember the things you built, the people you helped, the dreams you chased, the risks you took. And that's why distraction is so dangerous. Not because it steals your minutes, but because it steals your meaning. A distracted life is not a life lived. It's a life borrowed. Borrowed by companies, by entertainment, by other people's agendas. I want you to imagine something. Imagine your future self, 10 years from now, walking into this room. Will they thank you for the focus you protected? Or will they ask you, why did you waste my time? That question should keep you awake at night. Because you're not just stealing from yourself today. You're stealing from the person you're supposed to become. History does not remember the distracted. Nobody writes books about the man who watched every season of every TV show. Nobody celebrates the woman who had the highest Snapchat streak. History remembers the focused, the builders, the creators, the dreamers, who refused to let distraction rob them of their destiny. So the choice is yours. Every morning when you wake up, the world will try to buy your attention. Notifications will fight for it. Ads will beg for it. People will steal it. But you have the power to say no. My attention is mine. My focus is my future. And if you can do that, even for 1 hour a day, every day, you will separate yourself from 99% of people. You will build something real. You will live with pride, not regret. So remember this. Distraction is the silent epidemic. Focus. Thank you for listening. And don't forget to like and subscribe, my friends.